So how did you get on in task 4? That's the question. And what I'm going to recommend is if you got less than 3 questions correct in task 4, then do these questions. Okay, so I have 4 additional questions of that type on the screen. If you got less than three questions right in task 4, please do these questions. Pause the video, have a go at these, and then I'm going to pop up the answers for you to mark your work. Okay. Right, so you should have paused, you should have done these. I'm going to put up the answers now, and whoa, my screen moved a little bit there. Let's fix that. Whee! Okay, right, so for the first one, you should have done these, and you're marking your work now. Make sure you've written down the question and you've shown all the working. The other bit is if you have, just to remind you, if you've started this question, this task on a different date, every time you're starting a set of tasks on a different date, make sure you put the date there. Every task has a learning objective, so you should be writing down task 5 and your learning objective. Reminder that to bat means to be able to. So make sure you get that down before you start doing your work, because you're creating a record that will be useful for your revision in future. So if you don't have the date and this is the first task you're doing for today, then please put in the date, okay? And then you do all the tasks you're doing today. Right, so for A, you should have 6A plus B. Please mark your work and use a different color pen preferably. For C, you should have 3A plus 7B. For E, I'm taking the answers from the textbook, so hopefully they're right. 14X plus 5Y. And then for G, you should have, what was that? E? Yeah, that was E. And then G, you should have 13x take away 12y. 13x take away 12y is what you should have for G. So there are your answers. Please mark your work and let us move on. Let's get into, now we're going to go into expressions that have squared, so they have powers. It could be any power, but we'll focus on squared terms. X squared for this example, a squared for this example. I say example, but as previously, the more you do, the more maths you do, the better you get at maths. So I'm going to ask you, you feel free to pause and have a go at these, or as I get started, feel free to pause the video and finish so that you can have some ownership of the task. But I'm going to work through these as examples, and then I'll give you a couple more to do. So the first one, collect simplifying expressions, the technique collecting like terms. So I'm looking through and I'm seeing x squared and I'm seeing another x squared. Note that I'm also underlining the sign in front of the 2x squared term, because that's the operation I need to perform. X squared is different to the x squareds are like terms. The other terms, the plus 4x take away x, they are different terms. X and x squared are not the same, and I believe that was described in task 4. So if you want, go back to early on in the task 4 video if you're not comfortable with that idea. So now I can collect the like terms. I have x squared plus 2x squared. That's going to give me 3x squared in total. And then 4x, the sign in front of the other x term is a minus sign. So it's 4x take away x. 4x take away x. 4 take away 1 is 3. Positive 3 signs are so important. So I have positive 3x as my answer. So the simplification of this expression is 3x squared plus 3x. 3x squared plus 3x. Going through to the second one, what am I going to do first? I'm seeing a squared terms. I'm going to highlight the a squared terms. So 4a squared plus 2a squared. And I can add, are there any other a squared terms? No. So I will add the a squared terms because there's a plus sign there. So 4a squared plus 2a squared, that gives me 6a squared. So 6a squared. Now I can look at the a terms, and I have a, and then I have minus 3a. And this one presents a bit of a challenge with our friend negative numbers. It can throw off anybody, this negative number thing. So let's just make sure we get it right. I'll use this space in the bottom here. If I have 1a, just recall that as well, that plus a is plus 1a. Black doesn't cut through really nice there, so I'm going to use plus 1a. So plus 1a take away 3a. So if I start on a number line, if I start at 1 and I want to take away 3, taking away is going down, so 1 take away 3. 1 take away 3. 1a take away 3a. 0, I'm going down 0. Then before 0 is minus 1. Before minus 1 is minus 2. So what do I have? If I have 1a, take away 3a, that is minus 2a. The final simplification for D, 6a squared minus 2a. Now that we've gone through these, and remember you can replay it if you need to, let's do some practice questions. Now it's time for you to try on your own, and I'll give you the answers at the end. So here are 2 questions. I'm going to ask you to do 2 of these. Can you, in your books, write, or your paper, your notebook, you're writing these questions down and you are working through them. Simplify each of these expressions, please. Please pause and you have a go at those. Thank you very much. You're simplifying those expressions. And you should have tried that already. Pausing is so important. You should have tried it already. I'm going to do one of them in detail. And which should I go for? B. You want me to do B? Okay, I'll do B. So what I'll do, I'll put the answer. For A, you should have had, so for A, you should have had, where is the answer on this? X squared. You should have had x squared plus 3x. So x squared plus 3x is what you should have had. Please mark your work. That's the answer you should have had. For B, let's see. Let's just make sure we're on the right track with this. And I'm looking and I'm thinking, you know what? I'm looking at the wrong answers, aren't I? Is this thing working out? No. 3x. Okay, right. I'm just going to do this because I think I have mixed up where my answers are. Okay, yeah, I found it now. Now it makes sense. Because I was looking at it and I'm thinking, that can't be the answer. Right, see what happens when you're copying? Do the thing for yourself. That's what should happen. But theoretically, this is supposed to save time. Right, the answer for A, and this does make sense, is 2x squared plus 7x. Thank you very much. 2x squared plus 7x is what you should have for A. And let's look at for B. I'll do this one. 4y squared, take away 2y squared. I have 4y squareds. I take away 2 of them. That's going to give me 2y squared. And then plus 4y plus 3y, 4y's and 3y's, that is plus 7y. So your simplification, 2y squared plus 7y. 2y squared plus 7y. That's what you should have there. And okay, yeah, that's fine. Now, did you get both of them correct? If you got both of these correct, smile, and you're going to move on to task 6. Bye-bye. Bye-bye from task 5. Move on to task 6. If you didn't get the 2 of them right, then I'm saying you should probably do a couple more of these. So here you go. Can you try these questions and then get that success? Hopefully you'll have that success factor of having the majority of your questions right. So do these 2. If you got the first 2 right, you're moving on. Well, you shouldn't be listening to me. Well, if you want to do more practice, fine. But you can move on to task 6 if you got those 2 right. You're pausing. You're having a go with these. Thank you. Now, task C, what do we have for C? I'm going to put up the answers. So C, you have 4a squared, take away a. That makes sense. Yeah, we're adding the a squared terms, and then we are adding the a terms. And I shouldn't use that symbol because that might confuse things later on for the brackets. Right, so 4a squared take away a. And then similarly, 6x squared take away 9x squared. You're thinking, what is 6 take away 9 on the number line? That's what you're working through there. What is 6 take away 9 on the number line? I'll put it where you can see. So you're starting at 6 and you are going down 9 units. That's what you want. You're starting 6, going down 9. When you go down 6, you would get to 0, so you need to go 3 more to get to minus 3. Okay, that's the idea you should have been thinking. That's my squiggly there. I started at 6. This is a 6. Come on, believe me, it is a 6, really. Take away 6 gets you to 0. You need to take away another 3, getting you to minus 3. So your second term, so your first term is minus 3x squared. 6x squared, take away 9x squared is going to give you minus 3x squared. And then the last one, plus 12 plus 3. 12 and 3 is 15, plus 15x is what you would have as an answer. And that is simplifying expressions. We've done a fair amount of questions on this end. If you were not confident before on simplifying expressions, I hope you're very confident now. If it is that you were very confident, I hope that doing the practice, you would have gone through these reasonably quickly and you found this experience useful. Now that we have gone through simplifying expressions, we're going to move on to the core area we really want to focus on, which is expanding brackets, expanding and simplifying. So we're adding another layer of complexity to our algebraic manipulation. We're going to go to expanding brackets now in task 6.